Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of MindSpun, your channel for your music fix. Today, we're gonna be looking at another one of the greatest album intros ever, this time by prog metal virtuosos Between the Buried and Me. Specifically their opening track, Foam-Born, the Backtrack, for the beautiful, chaotic, and complex album that is Colors. If you don't know who Between the Buried and Me is, or you can call them by their initials, BT-BAM, they are a progressive metal band from Raleigh, North Carolina, formed in 2000, and the band consists of Tommy Gills Rogers Jr., who is the lead vocals and keyboards, Paul Wagoner, lead guitar and backing vocals, Dusty Waring, rhythm guitar and lead guitar, Dan Briggs on the bass and keyboards, and Blake Richardson on the drums. Now, the name of the band comes from a section of lyrics in the Counting Crows song Ghost Train, specifically from the following section. I took the cannonball down to the ocean, across the desert from sea to shining sea. I rode a ladder that climbs across the nation, 50 million feet of earth between the buried and me. And just as an interesting side note, Between the Buried and Me did a cover of the Counting Crows song Colorblind for their album The Anatomy of, which consists entirely of cover songs by Between the Buried and Me's favorite bands and musical inspirations. Also, in case you didn't know, they now have 9 albums under their belt in their discography, with Automata Part 1 and Automata Part 2 as their latest offerings. And like we mentioned before, in this episode, we're gonna focus on the intro for the album that is a fan favorite and also one of my personal favorite albums from them, Colors. This album is a concept album and it is the 4th studio album by Between the Buried and Me, released on September 18th, 2007 through Victory Records. They are now with Sumerian Records, just as an interesting side note, and although separated in 8 tracks, Colors gives the impression of one continuous song with transitions between each part. Now the album, before it was released, it received great praise and sold 12,600 copies in its first week of release, reaching 57th on the Billboard 200, which was the first time the band reached the top 100 on the list. And Mike Portnoy, formerly of Dream Theater, who is one of Between the Buried and Me's main influences, named Colors his favorite album of the year. Pop Matters wrote, "A true marvel. The challenging but ultimately highly rewarding album is an example of a young band just discovering what it is capable of. At the rate they are going, the modern metal pantheon awaits." And also, Ultimate Guitar named it Best Album of the Year and their annual This Year in Metal. So, I love this album, just like critics and fans do, and some considered it to be BT-BAM's greatest work, but I still suggest that if you haven't heard them before and you like prog music, you give this album and their whole discography a chance, since they have many influences and tend to go everywhere in the sonic spectrum. Now, talking specifically about the intro, I just love how it starts, with the piano chords and melody all by itself, and it immediately gives me chills when I hear the first 5 seconds of the song. A mix of nostalgia of when I first heard the album, mixed with the beautiful simplicity of the piano carrying the intro. Then, I love how the chord progression starts to change to create more tension until only one note is left suspended, and then the section repeats itself, but with Tommy's vocals adding another layer to the intro. And I have to say, I love the production on this album. Jamie King did a fantastic job, and the effect on Tommy's vocals sounds amazing. It creates this sentiment of him being alone in a large space, which adds more vibe to the track. And the lyrics as well fit really well with the instrumentation as Tommy sings. "I'll just keep waiting, bum ba ba bum. You'll just keep waiting, bum ba ba bum. In the cold." And sorry if my singing is not on point, but I get excited and I can't help it. Then the vocal harmonies enter in the last phrase, "so small," and it adds a beautiful layer to the vocals. And then the piano again is left alone with the suspended note, followed by the drums being hit in a crescendo manner with the snare and floor tom like ba da 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 da. And then there's this small silence that right after that the whole band comes in and it just feels so rewarding and huge. And I love how they created the space so that when you hear everyone it feels enormous and like a cathartic release. Then the whole band continues as support for the whole section while the piano is playing an arpeggiated melody that goes up and down. And it feels like you're on a spaceship that is about to embark on a marvelous sonic journey. Now, once this section is finished, again tension is created, and Tommy starts to sing again, but more with a vocal tone of giving a warning of what is to come when he says the following:
a conscious decision to persuade ourselves amongst the common human.
And I love that when the lyrics change to the line that says, the drive to complete ourselves, Tommy changes his vocal style to a more extreme death metal sound, more guttural and less clean, so to speak. And I love how it gives this sense of chaos that I think the lyrics needed, while Blake Richardson is blasting away with the whole band, adding really fast lines to expand the chaos. And this goes on until the track ends with some quick brief stops before it changes into the second track, The Decade of Statues, and it blends perfectly, which is another thing I adore about this album, how the tracks seamlessly blend into each other, making it feel like one continuous epic track. And I gotta say, I love this intro, and I think it will always give me goosebumps whenever I hear it. And if you want to hear it in a live format, you are in for some luck, since Between the Bird and Me is having a Colors live stream session on their Twitch channel this weekend on Friday, August 7th, and on Saturday, August 8th, at Blake's parents' house, who is the drummer of the band. Now, you may wonder why the live session is being performed there, and it is because the band wrote this record in 2007 at Blake's parents' house, specifically the basement, where they will be performing. And they will be playing the full album in its entirety on Friday and Saturday, and they will also have a post-performance Q&A session on Sunday regarding the album Colors, where you can ask the band anything you want to know about the album, or the production, or about them. And I highly suggest, if you haven't heard them, that you check out this live stream, since it will be awesome. I know, since I have seen them live, and they always sound perfect. Well, at least to me. And this event will be a perfect opportunity to check the band out. Also, I want to say that I love that bands are searching for different ways to provide live shows and keep them entertaining and make them engaging for fans, like BT Bam is doing in their live stream, doing it in the space where they created the album, sharing this space and moment with the fans, and I am going to personally watch it myself. And if you're a fan or just want to listen to some prog metal and support an awesome band in the process, this is a perfect way to do it, by watching the live stream and subscribing to the band's Twitch channel, which has some added perks by the way, but you can still watch it for free if you desire. They are also selling some merch for this event, which is pretty sweet if you want to pick up some new apparel, and in the process, support Between the Bird and Me. And as for this episode, that is all for now, and if you enjoyed this video, give us a like and subscribe to our channel for more music content. And let us know in the comment section what you think of this intro, what you think of this album, and Between the Bird and Me as a whole. And like always, we will see you in the next episode, and stay safe everyone.